memory lane back to the golden age of animated shows. We call that period the 1990s. I was watching the Superman animated series, an excellent TV show that actually put a smile on my face. Now, the reason why this show put a smile on my face, you ask? Because the showrunners, the writers, people who produced the show actually cared about the characters portrayed in this series. The Superman animated series paid homage to the Silver Age and Golden Age of Superman, as well as having a modern take on the Man of Steel. Now, I won't go into the history of the show. I did that with a previous video a couple years ago, which I'll link down below. No. This video is all about the praise. The writers, Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, kept it real with the show. They kept faithful to the Superman mythos and didn't try to go off the rails with some dumb stuff I won't mention, but y'all get the point. The writers wrote Clark Kent as the mild-mannered man who kept his secret very close to his chest, only letting Ma and Pa Kent know, of course Supergirl, Lana Lane, and for a minute, Parasite, and of course the Dark Knight himself knowing that Clark Kent was Superman. Much today's superhero media, everyone in both comic book universes, everyone knows everybody's identity. Something that kind of got played out after a while. They kept Clark Kent balanced, dedicated him to the Daily Planet, made him a good man. The same under his Superman guys, being the big boy Blue Scout, but he had a little tiny edge when he needed it. Now, he does appear to be the symbol of hope. He is the symbol of hope, but at the same time, an enemy can bother him to the point he has to get a little bit more aggressive. Now, I always thought Superman in the DC animated universe was a little bit nerd, or in other words, a little bit not having all his abilities there. From what I read, the writers actually did that to keep the character from being boring and all-powerful, and also you can have more feats, I suppose. He can still fly, of course, he still has the heat vision, ice breath, X-ray vision, super strength, of course, and invulnerability, and of course the weakness to that green rock. Most importantly, for this show, Superman was more human, he was more American than the actual alien god that can just, let's just say, wipe humans off the face of the earth if he wanted to. The enemies were well done. Most of them had a legit beef against the Man of Steel. Now, rewatching this whole series from first episode to last episode, I really like Lex Luthor in this series, being the billionaire businessman, but underneath power-driven, almost like a crime boss, and his quest to get rid of Superman. I just wish the DCEU did that instead of Riddler Luthor, but anyways, we're not going to talk about the DCEU, but pretty much had his hand on Metropolis, pulling the strings into town, using villains like Metallo, which he helped creating alliances with Brainiac, the aloof Bizarro, and of course the Crown Prince of Crime himself, the Joker. Lex was never really charged with his crimes, and we don't really get to see how really evil I should say, Lex can be until the Justice League series. But we know there's pieces of that there. But there is one question. There's one question that I still need answered. Over 20 years, I need to know this answer. As a little of a side note, is Lex Luthor black or white in the DCAU? You know what? He's African American in this, because that man's skin is way too dark to be white. Anyways, like I said, side note. Lex is pretty much the main villain for the first seasons of the show until Darkseid entered the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, this show alone made me a fan of Darkseid and made me one of my favorite supervillains of all time. He's cruel, calculated, and of course, evil. An example of his evil was killing Metropolis officer Daniel Turpin with his Omega beams in cold blood, right in front of everybody. As for the supporting cast, I like the way Lois Lane is written in this. She has that spunkiness as a reporter who sees Clark as a co-worker, but at the same time she wanted that Superman. Just a side note, this show does show an example of how women love the charming, smooth, rich boy. In this case, for an episode when Batman did show up, Bruce Wayne, the brash, rich boy in Lex Luthor, but rejects men like Clark Kent. She does like Superman. Let's just say this. She does like Superman, but rejects men like Clark Kent. This being Lois in the world's finest storyline, like I mentioned before. But Clark never reveals his identity to Lois in this, but she ends up dating Superman in the Justice League series later on. Within the run of the show, I also appreciate the writer's introductions of all heroes like The Flash, Aquaman, Kai and Rhaenyra's Green Lantern into the universe, as well as the 3-team episode team up with Batman that puts them in odds due to the method of stopping crime. Batman stopping crime with Superman's turf, as well as Bruce Wayne wooing Lois Lane, much to Clark and Superman's dismay. And I wish they would have done this with the DCAU, like, not to go too much off the rails, like, have Batman and Superman have some conflict in the beginning, way in the beginning, and then eventually teaming up to take out Lex Luthor or whoever they wanted to put in there. For some reason, Zack Snyder thought it was a good idea to have Bruce Wayne and Lois Lane having a secret romance in the DCU. I think he got some pieces from that, from these 3 episodes, but I don't like that anyway. Enough for the DCU. Sorry. It's a shame that the show didn't get as much praise as his other counterparts like Batman animated series, the X-Men animated series, and Spider-Man. Now, back then, not too long ago, probably 2 months ago, I was watching a Watch Mojo video. Yeah, Watch Mojo. And they had the Superman animated series low on their list. Let's just say, Watch Mojo is filled with schmucks that pom-pom and clap like seals for Marvel stuff and Star Wars stuff anyway. Mainly just Disney stuff. Don't get me started on Disney. But this show, the Superman animated series, earns my appreciation for how good it was done. Even with the older animation style, it still holds up. This, in a way, was given an ending that would tie you in the Justice League series that would start in 2001. But y'all should go watch the show. As a matter of fact, just go watch all of the DCAU shows, and you certainly will appreciate the good animation that DC has done. And it made me a fan, and it was a good introduction for me, enough for me to get into the comics. I know very few people act like snobs when you tell them you started with the animation before you got into the comics. That's just how I was introduced. And I really can't say much because I know some people get into superheroes, especially now with Marvel busting out films all the time. And well, the thing is, I have a problem with these people. Now these people think they're experts from watching one MCU film. But I'm not going to go into a rant about that. But go watch the Superman animated series and the rest of the DCA shows. All on HBO Max. It feels like a promo. But go watch them. You won't be disappointed.
Present.
Oh no.
This classic sculpture by one of the world's most noted artists.
Are always funny. Though personally, I prefer ducks. Or ostriches. Finish your business and let's get going.
Huh? Oh, sorry, Mix.
Oh my goodness,